So these are some of the tools required for the Illuminated pony badge: 1/4" drive, 6mm socket, 10mm socket, and a medium flathead screwdriver. So the first step is you open your bonnet, and then what we're going to do, we're going to remove this radiator cowl here. What we're going to do is actually pop these pins up. So with your flathead screwdriver, put them in the side there, just pop them up. Do that along to all the rest of them to remove the cowl. Okay, what we've done, we've removed all the pins. We've got a little box here to put all the little push pins in and all the other bits and pieces that we'll take out so you don't lose it. This is the GT version. With the EcoBoost, there's this plastic covering here which extends all the way. It's all one piece down here. The EcoBoost guys don't have this, so they'll be able to reach in. But for the guys with the GT, it's a little bit different. The Australian guys and the Euro guys will have this hood latch bracket here just to cover the components in there. This needs to be removed. We're not too sure about the American guys if they have these or not. We're going to show you how to remove this so you're able to put your hand down and access the OEM badge. Step 1, what we're going to do is remove these little metal washers here, the lock washers. Remove it so we can actually take this bracket off and just let it hang down. We'll be able to grab it back later when we put the whole assembly back together. So to undo it, you just put your flathead screwdriver and just sort of rotate it, unscrew it. What you're going to do is this side first, and then you're going to attack the second side. So once you remove the two clips, get your 10mm socket. One side will only have a bolt, and then just unbolt it. Alright, okay, we've just taken the bolt off. So what we're going to do is get that cover plate and just wriggle it off and just let it rest there. What we're going to do, we're actually going to take those two 10mm bolts that are left. They actually hold the latch itself in place and remove that. So a good idea is to just mark out with a texter or a grease marker, and just mark actually where the latch actually sits back so you get exact positioning of the latch so there's no issues. Okay, so what we're going to do, all the bolts are off, we're going to actually remove the latch itself. So what you want to do is just grab the lever, point it slightly towards you, and just wriggle it out. And in this instance, you want to remove the sensor cable. And then what you're going to do is just fold it away. It's just out of the way. And we'll proceed to remove the cover plate. So you just grab it. It up, put it away, and then we'll start on the pony. With this GT itself, it's actually supercharged, so we actually got a front mount intercooler there. Usually with the stock GTs you won't have this intercooler, so it'll be a little bit more easier access, but we'll still be able to access it, just be a little bit tighter. So we just thought we'll show you with an external grill. It's going to be easier to explain it this way. So when your hand is down there trying to take off the OEM badge, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 pins, which are all going to have metal washers on them. What you want to do is just grab it and just push it to the side, and they'll actually snap off and drop down. And then you'll be able to remove the badge, the OEM badge outwards. So you should have a little packet that you get in the box that we send you. So what they are is the actual washers, the lock washers. So what you were going to do is open those lock washers. So once you get the lock washers out, I'm going to show you on our little test dummy here. It's just easier to show you outside of the card so you actually see what we're actually going to do. So what you want to do is grab one of these lock washers, and with one hand on the front of the pony and your second hand behind, coming over the front and coming behind it. So you just want to, this is what you're going to do, sort of you're going to do it blind, but this is what you actually physically have to do. So you're going to sit the washer like that. Then you're going to grab your 6mm socket, and then from the top you're going to come down, and then you're going to have your hand on the pony's tail and push, and you push it till it actually locks. So you keep pushing, just wriggle it around a little bit, and it'll actually lock there. So they'll be locked, and you do that for all 3 of the pins, and then you go back and make sure they're all tight, and then the pony should pretty much be set nicely there. So what we're going to do, we're just going to open the center hole out to 8mm so we can pass the wire through. So just carefully drill. There you go. Once you've drilled the hole, we're going to feed the wire through the center. Just grab it from the top and just pull it through, and then we're going to rest the pony onto the placing. Now what we've done here is we've kept the original OEM pins, so 3 of the pins sit in the factory hole, and the 4th one we've used as a power cable. So once you install it, it should fairly snug in its place once you lock down those lock washers. With the wiring, what we're going to do is we're actually going to feed it and follow the latch harness, and actually run along the side of that and run it all the way down. So like we said, we're going to follow the hood latch harness, and we're actually going to follow it into that little cavity down there and feed the wire through, and it'll come out the other side. Take out the headlight harness. So where you can see the index finger now is like the push pin to release the harness. So we're going to have to use 2 hands for it. So your right hand is going to push to release the harness, and your left hand is going to pull it back to release it. The harness is actually slightly on an angle, it's not straight, so you got to just remember that when you put it in. Otherwise you're going to find it a little bit difficult to push it back in. Okay, once you actually got the harness out, the actual harness only tends to go there. So if you give it a little bit of a pull, it would unclip from the inner guard, and you'll be able to access it a little bit easier, so you can put these posi taps in. So this is a posi tap that you get in a kit. So you unscrew the bottom end, you put the wire through the slot, and then you screw the top end with the pin, which will pierce the wire as you screw it down. So on the export models, the positive is going to be the yellow wire, and then you're going to use the top black there as your ground. Okay, when you get these posi taps in, make sure you get them really down tight on the main wire that comes out of the headlight harness. Then you're going to undo the back. Let's do the earth first, just for safety. Just make sure the end of the wire of the badge is twisted. And then what you're going to do is feed the end in and twist it down. Just apply a little bit of pressure so the wire doesn't slip out the back, and you do the same thing for the positive. Alright, once you get all the wiring back in, that's what it should look like. And then what you do, you're going to just feed it back, and the same way with left hand and the right hand, use 2 hands to put the clip back in. Okay, you get 3 cable ties with the kit, so you want to tie one here, tie it up against the harness here, and what you want to do is tie one down there, but loop it around your headlight adjuster and then so it stays out of the way, completely out of any moving parts. So what we're going to do is, before we put all the cowl back, we just want to test it. So what do you get in your car, just put it on ignition and turn the headlights on, and if it works, you're good to go to put everything back together. So what we're going to do is just put this all back together, just in the reverse steps. So make sure you put this little plug back in so you don't get any issues with later on, and then just go put your bolts back in. So what you want to do is make sure you actually fit the latch bracket back up to those marks that you put on earlier, so then you know it's exactly in the same position as you took it off. So put everything back together and we're good to go. You're good to show it off, break some necks. So what you want to do is, when you put everything back together, let's get your lanyard, put on your key, and there's an extra 2 horsepower.